Kat has always played dangerous games, and this time is no exception. Through months of scheming and calculating, she has crossed all boundaries, not hesitating to enter forbidden places, using all means to achieve her goals. It all started with a tragic accident, when Laura Peterson, the assistant of the Richardson family, was hit by a car and almost lost her life. Kat believes that Leslie is the culprit of this accident, and this pushes her to conduct an investigation regardless of the danger. She not only wants to clarify the truth but also wants to avenge what her family has suffered. In this pursuit, Kat not only has to face Leslie but also has to face complex conspiracies, hidden truths, and traps that she herself has created for others. She knows that if she wants to prove the truth, she must act quickly and leave no trace. Therefore, when she discovered a helmet and gloves in Leslie's apartment, Kat knew immediately that she had found an important clue. This evidence would be the basis for her to continue to push the matter further, not only to solve the case but also to force Leslie to admit her guilt. But Leslie was not someone who was easily fooled. When she discovered the evidence that Kat left behind, Leslie immediately realized that she was being set up. Instead of falling into Kat's trap, Leslie decided to turn the tables. In a bold move, Leslie hired a biotechnology expert to create fake DNA evidence. Kat's hair, which she accidentally left behind during the previous break-in, became an important material for Leslie to create this evidence. With a perfect plan, Leslie knew that she would be able to hold Kat accountable for what she had done. However, Kat was not easily defeated. She knew that Leslie was playing a big game and was determined not to let her opponent win. Kat continues to break into Leslie's apartment, this time to get more evidence, especially from Leslie's jacket, where she believes there will be important traces. But this time, Kat's calculations do not go as planned. She is caught red-handed while collecting information. Leslie does not immediately call the police, but instead decides to return to the fight in her own way. When Kat is discovered, Leslie shows no fear. She just stands there calmly, holding her phone to record Kat illegally entering her apartment. Leslie knows that she can use this video to threaten Kat, forcing her to stop everything. She does not hesitate to declare that if Kat makes one more wrong move, she will put her in jail, ending all her schemes. Kat, always one step ahead, now feels trapped in her own game, can create unpredictable consequences, not only for them but also for those around them. While Kat is feeling the tension from Leslie, she can't help but wonder if she still has control of this game. This battle of wits is not just a competition between two women, but also a war of secrets, conspiracies that constantly take place under the dim light of deception. This time she feels like she is being dragged deeper into the game she started. Kat's previous schemes and careful moves are now backfiring. Leslie, whom Kat had underestimated, is now a formidable opponent. Kat has always believed she could control everything, but this time, she realizes that her complacency may be her downfall. While Kat feels Leslie's tension, she also faces the consequences of her actions. Every time Kat breaks in, every time she breaks the law, she's not only betting on herself, but she's betting on everything she's built. The Richardson family, her reputation, her important relationships, all are on the line. Leslie is not just an opponent in this fight, but also part of a bigger picture that Kat can't ignore. But what makes Kat more dangerous than ever is her ability to assess situations with sharp eyes. She's not someone who's easy to trap. Just when Leslie thinks she's got the upper hand, Kat slowly begins to orchestrate a surprising counterattack. The games Kat has played in the past, the relationships she's built with people in the shadows, will all come into play. As Leslie began to feel complacent with the false evidence she had created, Kat was silently calculating her next move. She knew that if she let Leslie take control of this game, it would all end in disaster. Kat couldn't allow that to happen. She needed to find a way to turn the tables so that this time, Leslie would be the one caught red-handed. To do that, Kat decided to attack Leslie's weak spot. She knew that Leslie always appeared confident, but Kat also realized that her confidence was not without flaws. Leslie had always prided herself on the control she had, but that control was not always steady. Kat had studied Leslie's every habit, every weakness, and now that study would come into play. In an unexpected confrontation, Kat regained the initiative. Instead of letting Leslie force herself on her, she created a situation that Leslie could not have foreseen. While Leslie was proud of the video she had recorded, Kat quickly changed direction, making it impossible for Leslie to use the video as a threat. Kat knew that when a player was too strong, they would easily lose control, and Leslie, in her attempt to gain the upper hand, had exposed irreparable mistakes. Kat not only knew how to attack, but also knew how to keep herself in the dark, making it impossible for her opponent to predict her next move. However, the situation was not as easy as Kat thought. Although she had regained some of the initiative, Leslie was still a formidable opponent. She could not have predicted that Leslie would counterattack so strongly, but that made Kat even more determined. She could not afford to lose. If Leslie won, everything she had built up for so long would go up in smoke. This battle was no longer just a match between two women. It has become a battle for survival, for power, and for secrets that cannot be revealed. Every move, every decision, could now be the last, and Kat knows that she must fight to the end, no matter the risk. But one thing Kat knows for sure: if she wants to survive in this game, she must constantly change, constantly scheme, and never let herself be deceived. Kat has always been an outsider, but this time she must decide the outcome of the battle. She knew that one more mistake, one more wrong move, would put her in a situation beyond repair. But no matter what, Kat would never surrender. And one thing she knew clearly: in this war, there was only one winner and one loser. She would not let herself be the loser. Kat, caught up in this life-or-death battle, began to clearly feel the threat that Jacob and Leslie were creating. Although she was not easily defeated this time, she felt the pressure increasing by the second. Sleepless nights, feelings of insecurity that she had never experienced before made her mind chaotic. Kat had always been the one to seize every opportunity, but now, everything was slipping out of her control.
Kat,
accustomed to threats, showed no signs of anxiety, but her heart couldn't help but tighten at the thought of her secrets being exposed. She had gone too far to turn back. A secret message from Jacob appeared on her phone screen. Leslie immediately saw Jacob's threat. "If you don't do as I say, I will make Kat's video public, and you will never be free of your sins." She knew that the battle was not over. Although Leslie had been temporarily defeated, Jacob was still the real threat Kat had to face. And she understood that, with one more wrong move, she could lose everything. The tension mounted as Kat quickly packed up and left the room, leaving no trace behind. She knew that once this game was over, things would change forever. But at least she had the upper hand, and this time no one could stop her.